And we are live. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? I am PC, and as always, I am joined here with my co-host.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
That took you a second to introduce yourself.
Sorry.
I'm of course here with J-Man, the Dual Blade. So about last night, I'm sorry that I didn't invite you,
Eh, it's all. It's all right. It's all right.
but it
I
was
mean,
it was a very interesting stream, though, at least.
yep.
So tonight, folks, we are gonna read some Japanese urban legends. And not just read them, we're gonna pick out our favorite ones. Because some of these we've already looked through, and some of them we obviously already know. Because, I mean, I'm into this kind of shit. I love Japanese urban legends. Now, the way this is gonna work, we're only focusing on Japanese urban legends because I was thinking about including other urban legends, but to be honest with you, I don't find them as fascinating as the Japanese ones. And there's a lot of good ones here. What's up, Graw Man? How are you doing tonight?
Hey, we're good. We're good, doing great tonight. How are you?
But yeah, we're gonna look at some urban legends. But before I do that, it is important that we get this out of the way. We're not gonna include the popular ones like Sadako, the grunge or anything like that.
Sadako,
Yeah,
Kaiko. They've got live action movies over here in the states, so
yeah,
shouldn't really include them.
yeah. We're not gonna include those because it's too obvious, and we want to make this interesting. We really do. Uh, so just keep that in mind when we go through these. And I know there's gonna be people that mention Sadako. But yeah, we're not including her on this list. Sorry.
Wait, since when were we making a top 10 list?
Yeah, I, you didn't hear me. I
We're
said
going to
this.
do a tier list.
We're doing a tier list, sort of, except I'm not going to actually edit it or anything because I'm too lazy right now. But we're gonna make.
Hey, I'm usually lazy too. Don't take my shit.
But yes, we're gonna rank them the top 10 scariest Japanese urban legend stories. They're probably our favorites, which actually that's probably what it will be. Our favorite Japanese urban legends. But the website we are using is called Scary for Kids, which I know uh, sounds like a kid's website, and you're probably
But it's very
thinking,
clickbaity.
yeah, it's very clickbaity. And I don't think kids really need to read these. Some of them are really disturbing. But let's look at the list here. There is over 60 stories here.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I counted them.
oh yeah, there's 60 urban legends here.
And some of these urban legends I didn't read when I was last on the site, which was probably around 6 years ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, this website has a bunch of them, you know. Of course, there's probably some a lot of people recognize right away, Uchisaki
Yeah,
Onna,
the slit mouthed woman.
the Teke
Uh,
Teke,
yeah, red cloak possibly. Uh, Tomino,
uh, Kayako,
Kayako.
Kayako. Sorry, fuck. My Japanese is sort of muddy. I do apologize for that. Yay, you made
Weren't
it!
you the one that went to Japan and learned how to speak Japanese?
Yes. Don't
How
question
dare
me.
you!
Don't question me. I sometimes butcher it sometimes because my southern slang. Well, at least I could speak it.
Yeah, I'm just giving you a hard time.
わからないだろう。今から未来くね。今回俺が
Yuki
日本語を
Onna,
話す。
another one that I know of.
Alright,
I believe
but
that's the woman in white.
yeah, the woman in white. There's a bunch of them. We're gonna go through most of them because they're very short.
Oh yeah, the longest is like 14 minutes long.
Oh yeah. Uh, let's go through. These are the top ones here. I might want to save those for last. Let's go with Peko Chan first. Peko Chan. Peko
Yeah,
Chan.
it looks so cutesy.
Yeah, it does. Like, Peko Chan is a scary Japanese urban legend about the mascot of a company that sells a brand of candy called Milky. Peko Chan is a very popular mascot in Japan. Her doll can be seen at the front of many shops, and her smiling face is on every packet of candy. Yeah, she's basically like the Japanese equivalent of Little Debbie. That's really.
And she does look cute. She does
I
look
should have
cute.
gone to Osaka. Your southern slang would fit in nicely with Kansai bin. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Just
Osaka. Osaka is mainly it's the Texas. I mean, it's like the Japanese equivalent of Texas. But
just
I
be
went
sure
to
not to kick off your shoe,
Nagoya.
because otherwise it will make something explode.
Right. I went to
But
the place I went to was Nagoya. Nagoya, Japan. And I've posted pictures of my trip on my Twitter. You'd have to actually look at them. It's in my history somewhere. But anyways, Peko Chan. Let's go through this. Peko Chan is the mascot of a Japanese company called Fujiya, which produces candy called Milky. The company's slogan is "Milky tastes like Mama." Peko Chan is a young girl with chubby cheeks, pigtails, and a red ribbon in her hair. She is always seen with a big smile on her face, licking her lips. According to the urban legend, the real story behind Peko Chan is very disturbing. They say that Peko Chan was modeled on a young girl who died during World War II. The girl was named Peko, and she was 6 years old. She lived with her mother in a small Japanese village. During the war, there was a tremendous food shortage in Japan. The mother and child were starving, and there was nothing to eat. They had to drink muddy water just to stay alive and gnaw on grass and the roots of trees just to keep their hunger at bay. Peko's mother couldn't bear to see her daughter suffering, so she took a knife, cut off part of her own arm, and offered it to Peko to eat. Peko Chan had never tasted anything so good in her life. Afterwards, she couldn't forget the sweet taste of her mother's flesh. She proceeded to kill her mom and eat her mother's entire body. Consumed by the taste of human flesh, Peko Chan continued life as a cannibal. They say that the reason her tongue is out is because she's licking her mother's blood off her cheeks. Um, the name of the candy is Milky, but when you rearrange the sounds, it becomes "kill me," which her mother's final words. That's also why the slogan of the company, when translated from Japanese, is "Milky tastes like Mama." The Fujiya company also has another mascot named Poko Chan. He is a young, smiling boy who always wears a blue hat. He is said to be Peko Chan's boyfriend. According to the urban legend, Poko was a 7-year-old boy who lived in Peko Chan's neighborhood. After devouring her mother, Peko Chan was still hungry. She attacked Poko, breaking open his skull in order to eat his brains. Poko was in such pain that he committed suicide by biting off his own tongue and swallowing it. They say that the reason Poko Chan never has his tongue out in pictures is because he doesn't have one, and the reason he always wears a blue hat is to hide his broken skull and exposed brains. So, what do you think of this urban legend?
It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of disturbing. I would definitely say that.
Yeah, definitely disturbing, but at the same point in time, it is very weird.
Yeah, but what would we rate it on the believability scale? Like, would you honestly believe this story?
Mm, it's possible.
Okay.
Uh, it's possible there was a little girl that was actually turned into a cannibal.
Okay.
Uh, Especially if there was some sort of harsh living conditions that forced cannibalism.
Right. I can get you there. I'm I'm sort of
The
taking in this.
believability starts going away when the girl's able to overpower the mother. That sort of takes away some of the believability.
Well, that depends though. Like if they're starving, their bodies are weak.
Yeah.
So, maybe that is possible that she could overpower her mother.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So fair point. Fair point.
But I mean, after all, this is an urban legend and people can take it for face value. You can believe it or you can't. But that's what I like about this. We can rate it of whether or not you would actually believe something like this. Honestly, on believability scale, I would rate it a 7 out of 10. It's possible that this could happen, but you know,
But there's nothing substantial about it, though.
yeah, yeah. Cannibal stories are a dime a dozen. Not really original, but I like it. Um, about as believable as Jeff the Killer's creepypasta.
How dare
Maybe.
you? At least this story has a lot more believability.
All right, Sugisawa Village. This one is about a village that supposedly erased from the map after a terrible massacre occurred. Many people in Japan have tried to track down the village, but as yet, nobody has been able to find it. According to the legend, there was once a small village called Sugisawa Village in the mountains of Aomori. I think that's how you pronounce it. Aomori prefecture in Japan. Many years ago, a man who lived in the village suddenly went mad and killed all the other villagers with an axe before he committed suicide. After the massacre, Sugisawa village was abandoned and it was erased from all official maps of the area. They say that the ruins of the village are haunted by evil spirits, and anyone who visits the area will never come back. There is supposedly a sign on the road leading to the village that reads, "There's no guarantee that those who enter here will remain alive." There is an old torii gate at the entrance of the village, and at the base of it, there is a stone that looks like a skull. Basically, those of you who don't know what a torii gate is, it's basically those big
Shinto gates.
it's sort of like a Shinto gate, except it's I can't even describe it now. It's hard for me to describe it. Uh, it's not a Shinto gate. It's something else. I, gosh, been so long since I took Japanese history class when I heard about it. But it's a tradition. It's like a You know a gate that you would see at a palace? It's sort of like that. That's the best way to describe it. But nevertheless, it has been said that people who wander close to the site of Suki Sawa village will hear the distant sound of talking and laughter as if there is a festival going on. The talking and laughter will slowly change into screams of terror. If you keep listening, after a while the screaming stops and it returns to talking and laughter. The ruined houses in the village are covered in bloodstains that tell the story that tell the story that tell the story that tell the story that tell the story. Okay, that's weird. The ruined houses in the village are covered in bloodstains that tell the story of the tragic incident that occurred there. The legend of Sugisawa Village has become very popular in Japan, and many fans of the occult have tried to find the area as a test of courage. However, nobody has ever been able to track down the exact location of the village. The urban legend is probably based on a real incident that actually happened in Japan in 1938 called the Tsuyama Massacre. There was a young man named Mutsuo Toi who lived in a village called Kamo. One night, he went crazy and murdered many of his fellow villagers. He killed his grandmother and chopped off her head with an axe. Then he cut the electricity lines, plunging the whole village into darkness. Under cover of night, he went through the village, sneaking into people's homes and killing them with a shotgun and a Japanese sword. He killed 30 people in total, which was almost half of the population of the village. In the end, he turned the shotgun on himself and committed suicide. It was one of the worst massacres in modern history. Okay, so what do you think of this one?
I like it a lot more than Peko Chan. That's for certain. It has great mystery, and since I'm a big paranormal fan, um, I can say that I would, if I actually was around that area, I would actually go looking for that village.
All right.
Um, but it does seem to be taking some. It's either taking from or was borrowed from Fatal Frame.
Yeah,
Oh, the Forgotten.
or it's also an influence of another classic horror game called Silent Hill.
Uh, Silent Hill does have a real town that it was based on, though.
Right, right. Well,
Um,
this is they say that the urban legend is based on an actual massacre. So, chances are that's probably what it is. So, in terms of believability, it's believable. But there is a couple of changes, of course, that they made to the story to make it scary. But what do you think, J-Man? Do you think it's believable?
yeah, yeah, I can actually say it is somewhat believable.
Yeah, even
Uh,
though it's different.
yeah, the only stuff that probably isn't to a rational human being with the modern day logic is the paranormal stuff.
Right. Oh yeah.
But uh, but since I'm a paranormal believer, I say it can possibly be real.
Right. Oh yeah. All right. So I think next one we can read is ski resort here. All right. The ski resort mystery is a Japanese urban legend about a man who goes skiing and comes across a woman who is calling for help. There was a man who enjoyed skiing during the winter. He took advantage of the snow and visited a ski resort. It was during the week, so there were only a few people around. He thought that it was a good opportunity to ski freely without interruption. The man put on his gear and started skiing down the slope. He was having a lot of fun when all of a sudden he heard a loud groan. It seemed to be coming from the forest on the edge of the ski slope. The man was worried it sounded like someone was in trouble. Perhaps they were injured and in need of assistance. When he went closer, he clearly heard a woman's voice crying, "Help me! Please help me!" Or "Please help." He made his way deeper into the forest, and when he came to a clearing in the trees, he saw the woman who was calling for help. She seemed to be buried up to her waist in snow. Only her upper body was visible. It looked like she had fallen into a hole and couldn't get out. "I'll save you right away," the man said. He grasped the hands of the woman and pulled with all his might, lifting the woman into the air. "Huh?" he exclaimed. The woman was much lighter than the man had anticipated, and he was surprised that he could lift her so easily. However, there was a reason that the woman's body was so light. When the man looked down, he realized that the lower half of her body was missing. Beneath her, there was no hole, just a pile of snow. As the man stared in horror, the woman grinned and laughed. A long, cackling laugh. Okay, this to me sort of sounds like Teke Teke. That's what this sounds like, except, Teke Teke's in the snow. That's the only difference. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's
Like, it's
it's
similar to the
not
Teke Teke.
it's similar, but what happened after the long cackling though? That's what I'm wondering.
Like, did they play a game of canasta?
Did they have a snowball fight? Did the woman melt in his arms? What?
Like, yeah, it's like, yeah. This one,
It feels incomplete.
well, it feels like it's familiar, though. Like, it sounds exactly like Teke Teke. Because, Teke Teke is a woman who has half of her body gone.
Yeah,
So,
but it doesn't sound like this woman was uh, leaving entrails everywhere or anything.
yeah, this one, is, the believability of this one, no.
I'm I'm not going to say it's believable or not. It just I don't like it because it feels incomplete.
Yeah,
It feels like they were building up to something, but they stopped at the long cackling laugh for some reason. Like that's
yeah,
supposed to be the creepiest thing.
yeah. So, we might pass on that one. Yoshi Mooji Son. Okay. Yoshi Mooji Son is a creepy Japanese urban legend about a girl who uses a social networking site. The way they. Why can't they just say social media site? It's the same thing, but nevertheless. Who uses a social networking site and is irritated by a creepy person she meets there. It is supposedly a true story, and it happened on a Japanese social networking site called Mixi. There was a Japanese girl named Miko who was a member of an online community. One day, she received a friend request from a member called Yoshi Mooji Son. Miko clicked accept and added Yoshi Mooji Son to her friends list without thinking much about it. The next day, she got a message from Yoshi Mooji Son. Miko is 21 years old, but she is still not married. It made Miko feel a bit uncomfortable to be asked such a personal question. Oh, that's a question. I'm sorry. Misread that. Miko is 21 years old, but she is still not married? Okay. Especially about someone she didn't even know. However, she thought it would be rude to ignore it, so she wrote a brief reply. I am a student at the moment, so yes, I am still unmarried. Almost immediately, she received another message. Do you have a boyfriend? Where do you live? Please tell me your real name. This was too much for Miko. She was irritated and sent a stern reply. I'm not answering those questions. I will remove you from my friends list if I hear any more strange things from you. After that, she didn't receive any other weird messages. However, 10 days later, Yoshi Mooji Son contacted her again. Please change your profile image now. If you think you are watching your face by other... hang on. Please change your profile image now. If you think you are watching your face by other men, you will want to kill you. Please remove all men from your friends list. Miko was creeped out by this. Enough was enough. She decided to remove Yoshi Mooji from her list of friends. However, when she looked at the updates on Yoshi Mooji-san's profile page, she got shock. She got a shock. Today, fireworks display. He had written about attending a fireworks display by the river. It was the same fireworks display Miko had gone to see that day. Yesterday, drinking party. He had written about going to a party in a bar. It was at the same bar Miko always went to. Miko had gone to a drinking bar with her friends in that bar on the same day. 3 days ago, the beach. He had written about walking on the beach. Miko had also gone to the beach with her friends on the same day. 4 days ago, house. Because I live alone, I spent the day reading novels and doing research on the internet. Miko got goosebumps. That was exactly what she had done on that day. It was like reading her own diary, except it was written by a stranger. It was frightening. With trembling hands, Miko continued to scroll down. 5 days ago, shopping. I went to a supermarket close to my home to buy groceries. I bought 5 kilograms of rice, natto, cabbage, kamaboko, horse mackerel, orange juice, potato chips, and potato and gummy. Gumi. Miko was shaking with fear. There was no doubt about it now. This was exactly what she had bought when she went shopping 5 days ago. She didn't want to read any more, but she forced herself to continue. 6 days ago, discovery. I found the right person this time, the person I am destined to be with. I've located the house as well. Now I've found you. I will not let go. I will live very close to you. Miko was distraught. She was sick to the stomach with fear. Now she knew he was stalking her. Moreover, there was a high possibility that he knew where she lived and had moved to be closer to her. She was terribly afraid, but she plucked up her courage and sent Yoshi Mooji-san an angry message. What are you doing? How did you know where I would be? Where do you live now? Where are you watching me from? Please stop this at once. You are scaring me. If you don't answer me, I will inform the police. I'm serious. 2 minutes later, she received a reply from Yoshi Mooji-san. What are you doing? I am at your side. How did you know where I would be? I saw every update you posted on your profile about your plans, what you were doing, and what you were with, who you were with. Where do you live now? I live in a room on the 5th floor, same as you. Where are you watching me from? From the closet. Okay, that is... It's definitely a stalker story, and it's a very creepy one.
Seriously, I felt like I was listening to Perfect Blue.
Yeah. Oh boy. I would believe it, yeah. Because, those kind of things, uh, they generally
Probably
happen a
called
lot.
the police right afterward to say, "Help! Help! There's somebody in my room."
There's somebody in my closet. But,
Seriously, and now I'm just imagining the police saying, "Okay, sir, come out of the closet," and then the guy going, "I'm never coming out."
I'm never coming out. This is my safe space.
No, he's never coming out of the closet.
No. It'd be like George Bush being stuck in a treehouse. Don't make me do stuff. I'm busy reading Super Fudge. Okay, the next that one was actually pretty good. Better than the last
Yeah,
one.
it was a good Stalker story.
This one is called Tonkara Ton. Tonkara Ton. Or Tonkara Ton. Tonkara Ton is a Japanese urban legend about the ghost of a man who is wrapped in bandages and carries a Japanese sword. If you don't obey his orders, he will kill you. Okay. Tonkara Ton
Okay, so a
is.
murderous ghost story.
Okay. Tonka Ton is a Japanese ghost. His body is completely wrapped in bandages from head to toe, and he carries a Japanese sword on his back. He appears on a bicycle while singing Ton Ton Tonkara Ton. According to the legend, Tonkara Ton appears to people who are walking home in the evening after school. If you meet him, he will cycle up to you and suddenly tell you to say Tonkara Ton. If you say it, he will leave you alone and ride off. But if you don't say it, he will take out his sword and slice you to pieces. If Tonkara kills you, he will wrap up your whole body in bandages, and you will become a Tonkara too. Note, you shouldn't say Tonkara until he tells you to, or else he will kill you for saying his name without permission. If you wear a bandage on your left hand, he will leave you alone because he will consider you to be a friend. One evening, a young Japanese boy was walking home after school. All of a sudden, he heard a faint voice in the distance singing, Ton, Ton, Ton. He had heard the rumors about Tonkara and was very afraid. He picked up his pace and started walking quickly, trying to get home as soon as possible. However, when he turned a corner, he was suddenly confronted by the sight of a man completely wrapped head to toe in bandages. The man cycled up to him and stopped right in front of him. The boy was so afraid he couldn't move. The bandaged man took out a sword and held it up. Say, Tonkaraton, he growled. Tonkaraton, the boy answered. The bandaged man chuckled to himself and then cycled off as the boy breathed a sigh of relief. The next day at school, the boy tried to tell all his friends that he had encountered the legendary Tonkaraton, but nobody believed him. Frustrated, the boy decided to get some proof. He got a camera, and that evening he went to the place where he had encountered Tonkaraton. He waited and waited, but the bandaged man did not appear. Eventually, in frustration, the boy began to shout out loud, Tonkaraton! Tonkaraton! All of a sudden, the bandaged man appeared on his bicycle, and one swift blow of his sword, he cut off the boy's head. Do not say Tonkaraton without permission, said the bandaged figure, and with that, he rode off into the night. Okay, that was
Gotta say, it wasn't as horrifying as I thought it would be, but it was still. It still had some comedic value.
oh yeah. Tonkaraton, Tonkaraton.
I mean, this one is clearly meant for little kids.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this one's, you know, yeah. I mean, believability, no. But I mean, a good scare for kids. All right,
Yeah,
so
um, yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't have one that had. They didn't have another story where they had a boy with a bandage on his hand from accidentally cutting himself, and Takara-tan just says, "You're a friend."
you're a
Okay,
friend.
bye then.
Bye then. um, the next story is called Big Head O, or the next Japanese urban legend. Big Head O. Okay. Big Head O is a scary Japanese urban legend about a man who comes across a strange village that is inhabited by people with big heads. Okay, this sounds funny. Even in Japan, nobody knows what this story is supposed to mean, and no one has been able to track down the location of the village. A few years ago, I suddenly remembered a village I had visited before I came across it when I was traveling here and there on my own. It was a small village with a cozy little inn. When I stayed there before, the hospitality I received was impressive, and for some reason, I wanted to go there again. I set out alone in my car during the holidays. I have a good memory, so I was confident that I could remember the route, or the route I took to get there. When I was approaching the village, there was supposed to be a signpost indicating where it was. However, when I spotted the sign, I was surprised. The sign should have read Village Name XXKM, but instead, it just said Big Head O. When I saw that, I had a bad feeling about it, but I decided to drive on anyway. When I came to the village, I found it deserted. It was like a ghost town, and all the houses were covered in weeds. I was puzzled, and just as I was about to get out of the car, I saw a figure emerge from the bushes about 20 meters ahead. It looked human, but it had a really big head. Huh? I thought, what is that? While I was trying to figure out what was going on, I saw other similar creatures coming out of the bushes all around me. Moreover, they started coming towards me and they were moving in a bizarre, grotesque manner, with their hands on their feet and their big heads swaying from side to side. I was glad I didn't get out of the car. I put the car in reverse and stepped on the accelerator, backing up at a terrifying speed until I was back on the main road. Afterwards, when I returned home, I looked at the map and saw the location of the village. To my surprise, I discovered that I hadn't been to the wrong place. The village was definitely the exact same village I had visited a few years ago. However, I don't think I'll be going there ever again. Okay, this one was funny, but I don't know. It felt like it felt like it lacked in the creep factor. Like it, yeah, it describes the creature's movements as grotesque and bizarre.
But all I'm thinking about is them just moving their heads back and forth, just shuffling along.
No, I'm just hopping along. Yeah,
I've
it's silly.
but all I've got to say is they must give great head.
You
That's all I've
perv.
got to say.
You perv. Alright, so if you fall, you die. If you fall, you die is a creepy Japanese urban legend about a peculiar dream people have in Japan. They say that if you fall in the dream, you will die in real life. It's also known as Fall and Die Village. Mm. Alright, so this one's a
This
short
sounds
one.
interesting.
Have you ever dreamed about the village where if you fall, you die? Normally, people have different dreams, but this is said to be a common dream. Many people are said to have this dream at some point in their lifetime. People forget most of the dreams they have, so there are a few cases of people who remember this dream. However, there are many people all over Japan who claim to have experienced this dream. When the dream begins, you find yourself in a rural village. The sun is setting, the sky is painted with dusky colors, and there are bluish bluish purple dead bodies lying everywhere on the ground. After a while, a few girls dressed in kimonos come close to you and explain that you are in the village where if you fall, you die. After this explanation, one of the girls stumbles over a corpse and falls. Gah! The girl screams as her body turns bluish purple and she dies. The start of the dream always seems to be the same for everyone, but people have reported various endings. Some people say I ran away and the girls chased me. Others say the girls gave me stilts to stand on. And still more say I woke up without anything happening. But strangely, there are no reports from anyone who has fallen in the dream. It is believed that people who die in their sleep are people who have fallen in this dream. Okay. I kind of like the creep factor of this. I really do.
Same here.
I mean, it seems intriguing. And, since we're talking about, dying, in our dreams, or, I mean, maybe it's inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street.
which was inspired by real cases of people actually dying in their sleep.
Yeah, fun fact, people. So maybe this urban legend was based on that, on the same case of people dying in their sleep. You know?
Hmm.
So I mean, I like it.
I like it too.
Okay. Coin locker. Coin locker. This is a 3-minute story here. The coin locker is a Japanese urban legend about a young unmarried woman who gives birth to a baby and decides that she can't take care of it. It is also known as coin locker baby. Oh boy. There was a young woman who lived alone. She started dating a handsome young man and she thought everything was perfect. Then one day, she discovered that she was pregnant. When she told the young man, he was furious and broke up with her on the spot. She was left to deal with it on her own. The young woman was too immature to be a mother. She knew her parents would be angry at her if they found out, and there was no one else she could confide in. She didn't have any close relatives who could help her, and she couldn't imagine bringing the child up alone. She decided to keep her pregnancy a secret. For the next 9 months, she wore baggy clothing to hide her swollen belly. Whenever anyone noticed something strange, she just told them she was putting on weight. Instead of going to a hospital, she quietly gave birth to the baby at home. The next morning, she put the baby in a bag and brought it down to the central train station. She saw a row of coin lockers standing against one wall. The young woman placed her baby inside one of the coin lockers. She knew she was doing a terrible thing and muttered, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry," over and over again. Then she closed the door of the locker and left. The sound of the baby's crying was drowned out by the hustle and bustle of the busy train station. Over the next few years, the woman gradually forgot about what she had done and went on with her life. However, one day she happened to be passing through the train station and noticed a small boy standing in front of the coin lockers. He was all alone and he was crying. People were walking back and forth and nobody seemed to be paying any attention to him. The young woman felt sorry for him. She thought he must have gotten separated from his parents, so she went over to speak to him. "What's wrong?" she asked. The boy didn't answer, he just kept crying. "Are you lost?" she asked. The boy kept crying. "Where is your mother?" she asked. The boy suddenly stopped crying and looked up at her, his eyes burning with anger. "It's you," he shouted. A few years later, workmen were doing some renovation on the train station. When they removed some of the coin lockers, they found something very puzzling inside: the skeletal remains of a young woman and a baby. Okay, what do you think of that?
Definitely creepy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is definitely creepy. I liked the twist there. I liked the little twist there. But I kind of knew that it was the boy, the same baby. The
Same
same.
here.
I mean, it's kind of predictable, but the whole when they discover the bodies, that I like that.
Yeah, we have basically the boy was most likely the spirit of the baby, as
Yeah,
opposed to actually being there.
right. Yet there's some things that puzzle me with this story. I mean, I know it states that, people, just walked by, they didn't listen to the baby crying or anything like that. But come on, there had to be somebody with a good hearing that, when they hear a baby crying, they should at least check. I love Japanese urban legends as well. What's up, Josie?
Yeah, Japanese urban legends sometimes can be even scarier than modern horror movies in America.
Oh yeah, I mean this one right here, it has a lot of creepiness to it, but I mean there's some things that don't make sense, but I like it. I still like it. Okay, this one a lot of people should know about. This is called the Red Room. The Red Room is a scary Japanese urban legend about a pop up that appears when you're surfing the internet. They say that if you close it, you will die. There was a boy who was addicted to the internet. He heard an urban legend about the Red Room from one of his friends at school. That evening, that evening, when the boy got home, he went on the internet to see if he could find out anything more about it. All of a sudden, a small window popped up with a red background. Written in black was the message, "Do you like?" Onatawa unji. The boy closed the window, but it popped up again. He tried numerous times to close it, but it just kept reappearing. Eventually, the boy noticed that the question had changed. Now it read, "Do you like the red room?" And in the background, a childlike voice said, "Do you like the red room?" Just then, the screen went black and a list of names appeared in red. At the bottom of the list, the boy saw the name of his friend, the friend who told him about the red room. All of a sudden, the boy became aware of something behind him and he lost consciousness. The next day, the boy didn't turn up for school. There was a rumor going around that something had happened to him. The next day, his classmates had heard the horrible news. It says "had the horrible news." It's "heard the horrible news." The boy had committed suicide, painting his room red with his own blood. This one is one of the popular ones that I've heard of. Uh, there's different versions of this urban legend. And a lot of people believe that red rooms actually exist. And for those of you who don't know what red rooms are, there's a dark side of the internet. People believe that. People believe that there's a dark side of the internet where if you go there, you can see people murdering each other, or people murdering on
Oh
live streams.
there is actually something called the darknet, and they have some really messed up stuff on there. Cannibals, uh, what
The
you
Red
just
Room.
huh?
The Red Room.
Yeah, but we just talked about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based. That's what it's based off of. This urban legend. It's based off of red rooms, in the dark webs, which people actually believe. There's no proof of this, and most of the theories about it has been debunked. I like it though. I like the story. I do, but I mean, I don't know. In terms of scary, I don't really think it's scary. I mean, it's not scary. I
It
mean,
it's designed to just give you the creeps, not to scare you.
well, I mean, it'd probably scare a kid, but not someone like me. Uh, are there any particular Japanese urban legends you aren't reading tonight? Um, I think I mentioned Sadako. We're not gonna read that one because everybody knows that one. Uh, we're not gonna read Kayako, which that's the chick
Yeah,
from
Kayako.
Kayako. She's the chick from the grunge. And I think we are not gonna be reading um,
Kappa.
Kappa. Yeah, but nevertheless, yeah, school night. That's 7 minutes. I don't really want to read that one. I want to
You
read the
don't want to
short.
read it.
I don't want to read
Okay,
the. I don't want
so
to
that means
read the
if you
long ones.
saw uh, School at Night, and blue robe, as well as fishing boat.
Yeah, I don't want to read the long ones. I'd rather just skim through some of these. Uh,
So,
Dream,
5 minutes or less.
5 minutes or less. Uh, let's see. Let's go to Dream School. Let's see what this one's about. Dream School. The Dream School is a scary story from Japan about a boy who becomes stuck in a dream. Warning, this is a cursed story and you may not want to read it. They say that if you don't
Ooh,
forget
that makes
this.
me want to read it now.
Okay. This is a cursed story and you may not want to read it. They say that if you don't forget this story within 1 week, you will have the same dream. You could become stuck in the dream as well and find yourself unable to wake up. So please think very carefully before reading this story. Okay, I'll read it. There was a Japanese boy named K who had a very strange dream. In the dream, he found himself wandering through a school. It was not his school, it was a school he did not recognize. It was night, and the school was in darkness. The sound of footsteps echoed down the empty hallways. It was very eerie. He tried to open the doors and windows, but they were all locked. He tried banging on them as hard as he could, but the glass would not crack. The school was large and sprawling. It was like a maze. It didn't seem to make sense. Walking down one corridor would bring him back again to the place he was before. It was very strange, as if the normal rules of time and space did not apply. Kay was starting to get scared. He began to run down the hallway. The corridor stretched on without end, and there was no exit. After running past the same set of classrooms several times, Kay noticed something odd. The corridor was an endless loop. No matter how long he ran down the corridor, he would always find himself back at the start. I think we already established that. He decided to try a different route. He ran down the hallway to the right, then took the first left and the first left again. He entered the home economics room, and when he went out the door on the other side, he found himself in another hallway. He entered the art room and went out the door on the other side. Somehow it brought him to the third floor next to the girls' toilets. He went through the music room and ran down the hallway past another set of classrooms. He came to a stairs and went down. He kept wondering and wondering. The night seemed to last forever and he felt like dawn would never come. Kin kon, kin kon. Kay heard the muffled sound of a clock chiming. When he looked up, he saw a clock. The hands were swinging back and forth like a pendulum. Clump, 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 clump. Kay heard the echo of heavy footsteps chasing him. He was too scared to look behind him and desperately wanted to escape. He ran up a set of stairs that should have taken him to the fourth floor. But instead, he found himself on the first floor outside the audio-visual room. Clump, 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 clump. The footsteps began to get faster and faster. He ran down the corridor and turned left again, and left again, right and left again. He came out in front of another set of classrooms. At the end of the hallway, there was an emergency exit, but the glass box that housed the key was smashed and the key was missing. There was a note inside that said the key was in classroom 108. Clomp, 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 clomp. The footsteps were coming closer and closer. Kay ran down the stairs. He turned left, ran down the hallway, then turned right and right again. He found himself outside a classroom. On the door there was a sign that read 108. Kay tried the door and it opened. He stepped inside and shut the door behind him. The classroom was in darkness. He could barely see. He flicked the light switch, but it didn't work. The classroom was filled with desks, and there were bags hanging on the back of each chair. Kay started searching desperately through them. He looked in every bag, searched in every drawer. All the while, he could hear footsteps coming down the hallway. Clomp, 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 clomp. Before long, he heard something banging loudly against the door of the classroom. Boom, 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 boom. Kay still couldn't find the key he was looking for. He pulled the drawers out of the desk and tipped them off the floor. He opened the bags and began dumping the contents out of the floor. Boom, 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 boom. The sound of the banging grew louder and louder. The door seemed like it was about to come off its hinges. He searched desperately, but he still couldn't find the key. Just then, the knocking on the door suddenly stopped. There was an eerie silence. Kay stood there, trembling, waiting with bated breath. He stood there in the darkened classroom, afraid to move a muscle. After a while, he still couldn't hear anything, so he went to the door. He reached out, turned the handle, opened it gently, and peered out into the corridor. When he saw what he saw, horrified him, and a scream died in his throat. There were countless boys and girls. They were in pieces. Their heads, arms, and legs were severed from their torsos. The floor was awash with blood, and they were dancing, jerking back and forth, their limbs flailing to and fro in a dance of death. Kay was drawn into the dream. His body remained asleep. He was never able to wake up. Even today, he is still wandering through the school in his mind. Now that you have read this story, please try to forget about it. If you don't forget about this story within a week, you will have the same dream in which you will find yourself wandering around the school. You will have to find the key and escape through the emergency exit before you come across the pieces of boys and girls who dance, or you will be drawn into the dream. 7 days.
Yeah, I noticed the ring reference as well.
Yeah. Um. Well, I guess we'll
I
find out in a
mean,
week.
I don't know if that is actually a curse story, but if it was, then I don't know how anyone is still alive
Well,
after reading it.
I mean, I
Because
think,
from what I'm hearing, the key can be anywhere in that school.
yeah, but I think it's just made to scare kids, you know.
Huh?
A key in a school?
Yeah, the name of the urban legend is Dream School.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, talking to my roommate.
How does it go?
Smile says it sounds like Corpse Party. It kind of does.
Yeah, it sort of does sound like Corpse Party.
How does it go?
Basically, the story's supposedly cursed. If hold on, I'm going to get to mute real quick.
Okay. While he's doing that, honestly, I kind of like it. I like the detail that they go in with the sounds, you know, the sounds of the footsteps, the boom sound of the door. You know, I like how they explain it. But, do I believe it's cursed? No, I don't believe in curses. I really don't. It's just made up superstitious crap that I don't believe in. I don't believe in curses. Hmm. But, it might be true. Maybe. Do you all think it might be true? Chat, let me know. Let me know if you all believe it's true. If not, then, well, I don't know. Let's see. We have 3 people watching. That's nice.
Okay, I'm back. I gave my roommate the synopsis of Dream School.
Okay. Alright.
Basically, I think he thinks it's horseshit.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
So much so that I'm willing to give it a shot myself.
But read it.
okay. I I mean, he's welcome to it. Honestly, like I said, I kind of like it. I mean, it definitely has a creep
I
vibe to it.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of Corpse Party.
Ooh. I mean, I think the only thing this story's gonna give me is gas. Because I can't stop belching.
But yeah, it does have a creep factor.
Oh, you believe in spirits of the recently dead. Now that's... I mean, I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in spirits. I know that sounds so contradictory, but there's a difference between a spirit and a ghost. There is a difference. The spirit is basically a lost soul. It's basically
I
a wonderless. It's a wonderless soul that is trapped in purgatory. Well, or they're trapped here and they can't pass on.
and I believe in ghosts of the recently deceased as well. Uh,
I wouldn't
I
even call them ghosts though. I would just call them spirits.
To me, they're the same thing.
Spirits possessed pirate canvas and are manipulating his gas. That is so
Well,
true.
that's accurate.
All right, the next one is called Tripping Bathroom. That sounds like a drug story. Tripping. Oh,
Tripping bathroom.
the Tripping Bathroom is a Japanese urban legend about a restroom in a company where the workers keep falling. Ah, I thought it was gonna be a drug story. Come on, give me a drug story. This is supposed to be a true story, and it happened in Ueda City, Nagano, Japan. I've never been to Nagano.
Wait a second.
I think that's southern part of Tokyo, Nagano.
I have no idea.
That's close to Tokyo. The bathroom in our company is a little strange. It's a place where a lot of people trip and fall. The strange thing is there is nothing there to trip over. Do you guys have life alert?
Help! Help! I can't get up.
I've fallen and I can't get up. Okay. Yesterday, my friend Yuki... Sounds like the janitors were a little overzealous in cleaning the bathroom. True, so true. Yesterday, my friend Yuki was in the bathroom. When she came out of the stall, she tripped over and fell on the tiled floor. She scraped her knee really badly. We took her to the break room and helped her put a band-aid on her bleeding knee. Why would you take her to the break room? Don't your company have first aid or something? Gosh, why am I thinking of school?
Sometimes they don't have anything good but a break room. I mean, when I tripped and fell and broke my cell phone one time when going to the bus to get home, I actually screwed up my knee and palm pretty good, and I had to do some first aid around the bathroom, which was the only bathroom in the store.
Well, did you trip in the bathroom?
Nope.
Okay. Are you alright? I asked. No, she's fucking bleeding. Why would you say, are you alright? Oh, gosh. I mean, wouldn't that be like the first reaction you would say when you see someone in the bathroom laying there? It's like, are you alright? Not when you take them to the break room. Ugh. Yes, I guess so. I'm just bleeding. Yeah. Yuki replied weakly. You are careless, laughed Sakura, one of our co-workers. It's not my fault, Yuki protested. Sato-san from the sales department fell in the bathroom last week, and the week before, so did Honda-san. Even though you knew that you still fell, Sakura said. You are so clumsy. How do people keep tripping in there? You need to be more careful. I couldn't say anything. I didn't want to be the one to tell the others. A few days later, Sakura was in the bathroom. When she came out of the stall, she fell too. She said it felt as if she tripped over something, even though there was nothing there. Now, who's the one that's careless? Yuki chuckled. It wasn't my fault, Sakura complained. When you step out of that stall, it's as if something's there. Last time when you tripped in the bathroom, didn't you feel like you tripped over something? What do you mean? Asked Yuki. There's nothing there, said Sakura, but it still felt like... Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just my imagination. Midori, when you... Midori? Wait, Deku? Midoriya?
Young Midoriya!
Midori, when you go to the bathroom, be careful, they tell me. It would be weird if all three of us had band-aids on our knees. I laughed nervously and assured them I would be careful. But I know I won't trip and fall. That's because I'm the only one who can see them. The dead woman lying on the bathroom floor, tripping everyone who comes out of the stalls. Okay. How? Okay, how? I don't get it.
Oh.
Like, is she a psychic? Is she the
Possibly.
ghost? Is she the ghost whisperer?
There are such people out there.
Yeah, but this one makes no sense at all.
Like, how can you trip over a ghost?
Or how can you trip over something that's not there, but there is something clearly there? But, I mean, if it's in front of the stall, why not just, I don't know, maybe feel around? You know, maybe feel around for it? Then you would know something's there. Did they not think about that? They could just, feel around?
They possibly
And yet, how could one
uh,
person be able to see that? That This is stupid. I mean, I like good horror, I do, but this is just dumb. I'm not reading that one. That's 14 minutes. Purple Mirror. I believe I've heard of this one. Alright, Purple Mirror is a Japanese urban legend about a cursed word. If you still remember this phrase, by the time you are 20 years old, you will die.
Too late.
Yeah, I'm too late for that. The ghost ties their shoelaces together. Maybe. Years ago, there was a Japanese girl who was very vain and spent all her time staring at her reflection in a mirror. It had been given to her as a present by her mother, and the girl cherished it more than anything. It was her most prized possession. The girl was desperate to be beautiful and developed anorexia, starving herself to the point where she was painfully thin. As time went on, her health became worse and worse. But no matter how pale and gaunt she looked, when she gazed into her mirror, she saw herself as beautiful. One day, she wanted to decorate her mirror. She painted it purple. She painted it purple, you mean? Gosh, people.
I think some people don't have really good grammar skills that write these.
Okay. When she looked into the glass, she was disgusted. She no longer saw herself as beautiful. She saw what she really looked like. A pale, thin, and haggard mess with bones protruding through her leathery skin. Horrified, she smashed the mirror to pieces, but afterwards, she regretted what she had done. On her 20th birthday, the girl was in the middle of making preparations for her coming-of-age party when she was hit by a car and killed. As she died, the last words on her lips were, "Purple mirror, purple mirror, purple mirror." After the funeral, when her parents searched for her room, they couldn't find the purple mirror. Rumors about the girl spread around Japan. After her funeral, some young people were found dead under mysterious circumstances. All of them died on their 20th birthday, and no cause of death was ever found. But in each case, shards of purple glass we found we were found in their bedrooms. Ever since that day, the words "purple mirror" have been cursed, and it is believed that anyone who still remembers the phrase by their 20th birthday will die. Note, it is very important that you forget you ever heard the words "purple mirror." Just try and get the whole concept of a purple mirror out of your mind. Whatever you do, please get those words out of your brain. Your life depends on it. OMG, I'm sorry I ever told you about this. Okay,
Again, too late. I'm already way past 20.
I read this story before. Uh, it is definitely kind of creepy. It does have a creep factor to it. I mean, look at that image right there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it definitely has a creep factor.
But, I don't believe that. Like I said, I don't believe in none of that curse shit. I really don't.
I'm
Beto.
willing to give it a shot, but this one just seems way too convenient.
Alright, this one is called Beto San.
What one?
Beto
Purple
San.
mirror.
Yeah, yeah, Beto San is a popular Japanese ghost who makes the sound of footsteps following you when you're walking alone at night. Have you ever had that feeling that someone was following you? Have you heard the sound of footsteps creeping up close behind you? If so, it was probably Beto San. He is an invisible ghost who makes the sound of footsteps following you down a lonely street at night. Beto. If you hear him, you should politely say, Beto-San, Osakina, Okoshi, which means, Beto-San, please pass in front. In Japan, he is one of the most popular ghosts because he is not dangerous, and girls think he is cute. And Saka Iminato. Saka Iminato. There is a statue of Beto-San, and people leave coins in his mouth for good luck. That is true, actually. I mean, I've read this story before. So, yeah.
I mean, Battle-san, it sounds like a okay spirit.
Yeah. He's a good spirit. Alright.
But he cannot outbeat Casper as friendly
Okay,
ghost.
so we're gonna skip Fishing Boat, Blue Robe, and Kayako. That one is the grunge one. A lot of people know that. They know Kayako. He goes.
And we also have face. So then face powder.
Yes, face powder.
And
Face.
this one is really quick.
The face powder hag, or Oshiro Baba. Oshiroi Baba is a demon from Japanese mythology. She tries to trick pretty young girls into using her special white face powder, claiming it will make them more beautiful. Oshiroi Baba, or the face powder hag, is an old woman who walks through the snow wearing an oversized hat, leaning on a cane, and carrying a vial of white powder. Her wrinkled face is caked in layers of white makeup. She appears on cold nights, asking pretty young girls if they would like to try some of her special face powder. She says that if they use it to powder their faces, it will make them more beautiful. However, as soon as the white powder touches their faces, the girls experience a horrible burning sensation. Their skin starts peeling and their flesh starts to rot and fall from their faces, leaving nothing but a hideous skull. Oshiroi Baba steals the flesh and uses it for her own purposes. Now that, that is disgusting. And I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
it is. It's definitely also got the scare factor.
Oh yeah. And I like that kind of I like gruesome horror. I really do. Yep, Sadako, human dog. This one is another popular one. It's basically a dog with a human head.
Oh yeah, didn't they make a reference of that in JoJo's?
Yep, they did. The human-faced dog, or Jinminken, is an urban legend from Japan about strange sightings of dogs with human faces. They have been a part of Japanese folklore for hundreds of years. Jinminken are dogs with human faces. They are almost always seen at night in urban areas of Japan. Those who have seen them say they look just like an ordinary dog from afar. Yeah, she burns their faces off. Yep. Yeah, we already talked about that story. I don't know how delayed the stream is. I guess I guess there's like a
there's a
2 minute
couple of
delay.
delays.
Yeah, I think there's a 2 minute delay. Um, let's see. I already lost my train of thought now. Jinmenkin are dogs with human faces. They are almost always seen at night in urban areas of Japan. Those who have seen them say they look just like an ordinary dog from afar. But when they turn around, you see that they have a human face. The Jinmenkin are able to speak and often challenged witnesses in a weary voice, saying things like, "Mind your own business," or "I'm free to do whatever I want." In some reports, they are seen outside people's houses, rooting through the rubbish, and in other reports, they are spotted chasing cars and frightening drivers on expressways. In one story, there was a restaurant that dumped its trash outside the back door. One night, the chef saw a stray dog rummaging through the rubbish for leftover food. He went out to get rid of the dog, but when he tried to chase it away, the dog looked back over its shoulder and said, "Leave me alone." In another story, a man was driving on the highway and noticed a dog in his rear view mirror. It was chasing his car as he drove at speeds over 100 miles per hour? I don't think he saw a dog. There's no way.
No, I mean, come on, it would have to be faster than a cheetah.
The dog ran so fast that at one point it was side by side with the car. The driver looked over and was shocked to see that the animal had a human face and it said, "Do not look at me." The driver was so astonished that he veered off the road and suffered a terrible accident. The human-faced dogs are usually thought of as being a bad omen of things to come and are often blamed for accidents and disasters. Between 1989 and 1990, hysteria about the Janmankin reached its height in Japan. People were calling the police and demanding that they rid their neighborhoods of human-faced dogs. Auto accidents involving a sighting of the Janmankin were so frequent that the police had to investigate the possibility that the creatures actually existed. Some people believe that human-faced dogs are the spirits of traffic accident victims who have been reincarnated as dogs. Others believe they are dogs possessed by evil spirits. Some even say that the Jinmenkin are the human-dog hybrids who were created in secret biological experiments and managed to escape from the lavatories. Kind of like that
watch
one.
out! The furries are going to freaking take over.
Yeah, it's pretty delayed. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why that is. I mean, that's something I can't really control. But, yeah, I mean, I've heard of this urban legend before. And
A human dog.
I think this one's actually kind of silly. It's kind
Yeah,
of funny. It's not scary. It's more funny. I mean, the only scary thing about it is the accidents, which, I mean, but it's funny because I mean, human face on a dog, and it's basically a yokai.
I mean, come on. It's not exactly one. It's not exactly something to be scared of.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay, Kune Kun, Kune
Are we
Kun,
going to get to
Yeah,
read that, or
or is
are
it
we going to
a,
move
a
on
bl-
to Demon Cat?
uh? This one's a 6 minute one. Kune Kune. Yeah, that's what this is called. Kune Kune. No, I'm gonna skip that one. It doesn't have an interesting picture, so I'm gonna go with the Demon Cat one. I like the ones with pictures. The Demon Cat, or Bake Neko, is a supernatural creature from Japanese folklore. It is an ordinary cat that is transformed into a monstrous demon. According to legend, it can shapeshift and take the form of a human being. The name Bake Neko means monster cat or transforming cat. Well, Bake can also mean demon as well, so wrap your head around that one. Long ago in Japan, there were many superstitions surrounding cats. Okay, we went from dogs and now we're going to cats. What's next? Cows? Are we gonna talk about cows next?
I swear, if we go into cows, I'm going to be making some Marky Moo jokes.
Markiplier jokes. Long ago in Japan, there were many superstitions surrounding cats. Many people believed that a cat could turn into a hideous demon cat called a Bakeneko. If it lived in the same place for 13 years and it reached over 8 pounds in weight. I mean, that's a fat cat. I gotta say. They say the demon cat is able to walk on two legs, like a human. It can also shapeshift and take on human form, sometimes devouring people and stealing their identities. The Bake Neko can also reaching. The Bake Neko can also reach in through doorways with its enormous arms, looking for human prey just like a household cat pawing around in a mouse hole. A famous Bake Neko story involves a man named Takasu Ginbei, or Ginbei, whose pet cat of many years went missing just as his mother's personality changed completely. The woman shunned company and took her meals alone in her room, and when the curious family peered in on her, they saw not a human being, but a feline monster in the old lady's clothes, chewing on animal carcasses. Takasu, with much reluctance, slew what looked like his mother, and after a day had passed, the body turned back into the same pet cat that had gone missing. After that, Takasu miserably tore up the tatami mats and the floorboards in his mother's room, only to find the old woman's bones hidden there, gnawed clean of flesh. Tatami mats is basically the beds that you sleep on. That's I mean most people sleep in the floor. That's a common thing in Japan. I mean they sleep on tatami mats.
I thought they slept on futons.
This is just Mars Girl as a reverse furry. Well,
How dare you? How
futons is like a sleeping bag. Tatami mats is basically like a mat, that you know what you slept on in kindergarten or something when you go for nap time or something.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what it is. Another famous story called the Devil Cat of Nabeshima. I think it's Nabeshima. Tells of a prince who fell victim to Bakeneko. One night, the prince was walking in the palace gardens with his favorite geisha. Geisha, a girl named Otoyo. Little did they know that they were being watched by a shadowy creature who was lurking in the shadows. A shadowy creature who was lurking in the shadows? What? Does that make any
Yeah,
sense?
I'd say that's the person who's writing all this down's fault.
Yeah, this kind of sounds familiar with the Sonic the Hedgehog, the hyper realistic blood, hyper
Key of
realistic.
thumb, key of thumb, horror writers out there never use hyper realistic.
Yeah. Hmm. After the
There's no
price,
such thing.
go ahead. After the
There's no such thing as hyper realism.
After the price retired to his bedroom, the Bakeneko slipped undetected into the geisha's apartment and waited under the bed until the girl was asleep. At midnight, the demon cat pounced on the sleeping woman and strangled her to death. Then it dragged her body outside, dug a hole under the flower beds, and buried her corpse in a shallow grave. After concealing its horrible deed, the demon cat shapeshifted and took on the form of the dead geisha, fooling everyone. Each night, the Bakeneko, disguised as the geisha, slipped into the prince's room to drink his blood. Soon the prince was complaining of horrible dreams. He grew very weak and pale. The doctors were baffled by his mysterious illness, and the prince ordered his guards to stand in his room and keep watch over him while he slept. However, as midnight approached, the guards found themselves feeling incredibly drowsy, and no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't stay awake. Eventually, a young soldier who had served under the king came to the castle. When he heard about the strange events, he volunteered to stay up and keep watch over the prince. As midnight approached, the soldier saw the other guards nodding off, one by one. The soldier started to feel drowsy too. Desperate to stop himself falling asleep, he took out his dagger and stabbed himself in the thigh, keeping himself awake. Whenever he felt like he was going to nod off, he would twist the knife in his wound to increase the pain and stay awake. At midnight, the soldier watched as the sliding doors of the prince's room parted. The beautiful geisha crept silently in the room and made her way over to the prince's bedside. The soldier rose, his knife in hand, and when the geisha turned and saw him, she left as quickly and quietly as she had come. For the next 3 nights, the dutiful soldier stood guard over the sleeping prince, stabbing himself every night to stay awake. The prince's strength began to return. When the soldier tried to tell him about the geisha, however, the prince refused to listen. He would not allow anyone to question the loyalty of his favorite girlfriend. Undeterred, the soldier made plans to get rid of the geisha himself. That very night, the soldier knocked on the geisha's door. He told her he had a message for her from the prince. When she opened the door, the soldier suddenly drew his dagger and tried to stab her, but she easily sidestepped his attack. The geisha transformed back into a Bakeneko and sprang at the soldier in a fury, hissing and spitting as she tried to defend herself. The two fought wildly, but when the soldier began to get the upper hand, the Bakeneko fled, springing through the window onto the roof and down into the garden, and managed to escape into the mountains. The next day, the soldier told the prince what had happened. The palace gardener was digging in the flower beds and uncovered the body of the real geisha. Grief-stricken, the prince ordered his guards to hunt down the demon cat. It was finally killed by the young soldier who had discovered its evil secret. Okay.
This was more of a 2-for-1 deal.
uh, I don't know about this one. What do you think, J-Man?
Uh, it's definitely creepy.
Yeah,
Uh, Especially the second story. It had a very vampiric vibe.
yeah,
It felt like I was listening to a version of Shiki.
yeah. It sort of sounds like that. I mean, there is some grammatic errors in this, but I
But
mean,
that's a more. But
yeah,
that is more of the writer's fault.
yeah. But I mean, in terms of the story itself, I, you know, I liked it. Um, I don't believe it because that sounds silly, but I mean, in terms of the story itself, I rather enjoy it a lot. All right, so I wonder what the chat thinks. What do you all think of that story? All right, the next one, Bald Man. Oh yeah, I'm not wearing my hat tonight. Ain't that weird? Oh yeah. Yeah, let's read Bald Man. The Bald Man is a Japanese ghost who is known Kanbari Naodo, who is obsessed with spying on people when they are on the toilet or taking a shower. Now that is creepy. And I don't mean creepy as in scary, I mean creepy as in this guy's a creep. At night, the bald man goes from house to house, peeking in bathroom windows and watching people while they are sitting on the toilet. So wait, he can see people taking a shit?
Seriously, this guy's a peeping Tom.
Take that hat off. Okay. uh so wait, he's
Oh my
seeing people
god.
sitting on the toilet. Hang on, hang on. If I'm reading that correctly, at the night, the bald man goes from house to house, peeking in the bathroom windows and watching people while they are sitting on the toilet, taking a shower, or getting undressed. How do you take a shower while sitting on the toilet? That I want to know. Is is the toilet in the shower stall?
Again, I think it's a grammar error.
He is an old, creepy looking Japanese man, and he shoves his head up against the window and drools at the mouth while he spies on you, hoping to catch you in the nude. Okay, that is fucked up. Years ago, there was an old man who was obsessed with seeing young girls naked. This creepy and depraved individual stalked the streets of his village at night, peeking in the windows, hoping to catch a glimpse of bare flesh. When his family found out about his disgusting behavior, they were ashamed and refused to have anything to do with him. To punish him, they shaved his head and banished him from the village. That is a punishment. That's a deserving punishment. Remember, we shouldn't send pedophiles to jail. Instead, we should shave their head and exile them.
Yeah, they're sure never to hurt anyone again.
Is it possible to learn this power uh, using the toilet while showering? I'd like to. I'd like to. I mean, yeah. That.
By the way, I've been feeling very self-conscious in my bathroom lately. Byron, have you been spying in my bathroom?
What? Fuck you. When his family... Okay, yeah, I already read that. So, they punished him by shaving his head and banishing him from the village. Okay. The bald man built himself a hut in the mountains and went there to live as a hermit. So, basically, chibi reviews. Okay. Uh... He did his best to stop thinking about girls and nudity, but it was no use. His sinister urges were taking him over, and he was powerless to resist. Finally, he gave in to his weird compulsions, and in the dead of night, he crept into the village and kidnapped a young girl. He brought her back to his hut, where he kept her tied up and did horrible things to her. Yeah, this is definitely not for kids, by the way, even though it's scary for kids.
Yeah,
God.
this is not for kids. This is definitely for adults.
Too bad Shane is already bald, can't shave his head. One day, while the bad man was away, a thief came across his unguarded hut and decided to steal the man's belongings. When he went inside, he found the young girl who had been kidnapped. Taking pity on the poor girl, he untied her. Just as he was helping her escape, the bald man returned. There was a big fight, but in the end, the thief managed to kill the bald man and brought the girl back to her grateful parents. After that, the bald man returned as a ghost and began to appear outside the girl's house. He wore a white kimono and peered through the windows at night, frightening everyone inside. The parents were worried the ghost would attempt to kidnap her again, so they hid their daughter. From that time on, the bald man's ghost has been going from house to house, peeping in the windows of toilets, bathrooms, and bedrooms, desperately looking for young girls. They say that if you chant his name, Kanbari Niudo, or Nayudo, yeah, it's Nayudo, sorry. Kanbari Nayudo. In the bathroom, his bald head will sometimes appear in the toilet bowl. If you chant Genbari Nayudo, Lesser Kuko, in your bathroom on New Year's Eve, the bald man will not trouble you again. In one story, a young girl was going to the bathroom late one night. She stood up and reached for the toilet paper when she heard a strange chuckling noise behind her. She turned around and saw a face pressed up against the frosted glass of her bathroom window. She could make out the features of an old bald man, and he was peeping in on her and laughing quietly to himself. The other side of the window was covered in drool. The young girl was petrified with terror and ran out of the bathroom with her pants around her ankles, screaming for her parents. When she told her father what she had seen, he flew into rage and ran outside to confront the disgusting old man. However, when he got to the alley behind the house, he found it empty. Then the father looked at the bathroom window. There were iron bars across the window, and there was a 10-centimeter gap between the bars and the frosted glass. There was no way anyone could have pressed their face up against the glass. A chill ran down his spine as he realized that whatever was peeping at his daughter while she was on the toilet, it could not have been human. In another story, there was a young Japanese girl who was very embarrassed about her body. One evening, she was playing volleyball with a bunch of other girls. After the game, she had to take a shower, but she was too ashamed to let anyone else see her naked. Instead, she waited until all the other girls had finished before going into the shower herself. Alone in the dimly lit shower room, she dropped her towel and turned on the shower. The water pressure seemed to be weak because all that came out was a slow dribble of water. She did her best to wash herself in the weak trickle of water. Halfway through her shower, she heard the faint sound of laughter. It sounded like an old man giggling and chuckling to himself. She looked around, but she couldn't see anyone. She listened hard, searching for the source of the weird noise, but all she heard was silence. The girl continued showering until she heard the laughter again. This time it was louder. Hey, you creep, she shouted. Don't think I can't hear you. She felt so vulnerable standing naked in the shower with nothing to cover her that she decided to hurry up and finish quickly. Just as she was about to leave, she heard the laugh again. This time it was very loud. It seemed to be coming from above. She looked up at the shower head and saw something that made her run screaming from the room. Instead of a shower head, it was an old man's head poking out of the wall above. He was staring down at her, grinning creepily and drooling all over her. Okay, that is creepy.
Yeah, and by the way, I think that it's more appropriate to do this to DC Douglas.
I bet you that's who it was. It was DC. This story was about DC Douglas.
I mean, come on. I'm pretty sure that he'll probably be on my showerhead tonight. I don't know.
Well, if I were you, I wouldn't be taking a shower.
I think I took one earlier.
Then he must have already watched you. I can't read no more 5-minute stories.
Oh, no.
It's like
Oh no.
it's hard to get through some of these. Because my eyes are watering. Gosh.
I would suggest try washing them out and then drying them.
Kokori-san. Well, this one I know about this one. Kokori-san is the most famous scary game in Japan. It is similar to the Ouija board and is mostly played by Japanese school children who want to summon a spirit so they can ask questions about the future. Okay.
Wait, so we're skipping Lika-chan?
Now
Or was
you
that
guys
before?
have probably heard of this one. You probably heard of Kokori-san. Because there is an anime based on this. Ganbar Kokori-san? Have you heard of it?
I have not.
Kokori-san. Kokori-san.
But I know there are quite a few references in different anime. I know in Holic they had it.
Right. Kokori-san. Kokori-san. Tell me when it is the date of my death. Two Japanese girls watch in breathless anticipation as a 10 yen coin begins to slide across a sheet of paper, slowly spelling out the answer. Kokori-san is Japan's answer to the Ouija board, and it has been played in schoolrooms across the country for years. The game became so widespread in Japan that it sparked several hysterias in the media, and many schools officially banned students from playing Kokori-san. Using a Ouija board can be dangerous because it can accidentally summon demons or open people up to the possibility of being possessed. Kokori-san is much less dangerous since the spirit who is summoned is a trickster spirit from the Shinto religion. Kokori-san is the name of the spirit who is summoned during the game and provides the answers. It is an animal spirit that is a mixture between a fox, a dog, and a raccoon. Kok equals kitsune, which means fox. Ku equals inu, dog, and ri equals tanuki, raccoon. Those of you who played any Mario games, tanuki suit, it's raccoon suit. The fox can be either a trickster or a teacher. The dog is loyal and protecting, and the raccoon dog is full of mischief, but also a bringer of good luck. All these qualities are combined in Kokori-san. Young people ask many questions, like Kokori-san, who loves me? Or Kokori-san, will I become rich and famous? But just remember that there are some questions you are better off not knowing the answer to. To play Kokori-san, you need at least 2 people, a sheet of paper, a pen, and a coin. Step 1. Take a blank sheet of paper and draw a tori, a traditional Japanese gate, at the top in red ink. Write yes and no on either side of the torii. Beneath this, write 1 row of numbers from 0 to 9 and 3 rows of letters from A to Z. Step 2. Open a window or a door so that Kokori-san will be able to enter the room. The torii represents the gateway to a Shinto shrine, and the spirit will enter and exit through it. I meant to say shrine earlier, not palace. I'm sorry. I'm so dumb. Step 3. Place a coin on the red torii. Each person should put the index finger on the coin. Step 4. Call the spirit by saying, Kokori-san, Kokori-san, if you are here, please move this coin. Step 5. You can ask Kokori-san whatever questions you like. It will move the coin to spell out the answer. Step 6. To end the game, you must ask Kokori-san to leave by saying, Kokori-san, Kokori-san, please return home. The coin will move to yes and then come to a rest on the red torii. When you are certain Kokori has left, you must destroy the paper. Either tear it to pieces or burn it. You must also spend the coin you used before the end of the next day. Warning. Kokori-san is not dangerous, and it is much safer alternative to the Ouija board. However, we still don't recommend that you play it. Many people can become upset and depressed if they receive answers they do not like. Also, always remember that Kokori-san is a trickster spirit and can easily lie to you. Okay, so... I mean, I kind of figured it was like the Ouija board. I mean, it's basically the same thing. Except
Same basic
except
principle.
it's the friendly version. I mean, it's the kid-friendly version. So I like this one. I like Kokori-san. Pirate washes his face in the bathroom. Bald man starts groaning because he's not a cute girl. Urgh. Lol. If I ever see that bald man, then I'm going to do that SpongeBob SquarePants scene where King Neptune took off his crown. What did you all think of Kokori-san? Alright. We got a bunch more to go through here.
Do you should we just make it multiple parts?
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I want to get through some of them here, and we may go through them tomorrow night. We'll do a part 2, and then we'll give our list of which ones we like the best. Let's read a couple more. I'm not ready to end the stream just yet. Let's read the one with the eyeball in the butt.
Eyeball in the butt?
Yeah, it's called Shirime. Shirime is a Japanese ghost with no face who has a huge eyeball in his butt. That's convenient. At night, he scares unwary travelers on lonely roads by mooning them. In Japanese, Shiri means butt and me means eye. So the name Shirime literally means, or Shirime means, literally means butt eye. Outro Kokori-san. Tell them that they are not as tricksy as KV, as Kickpick. Oh gosh. Maybe you should try summoning him. Okay, the Japanese legend of Shirime is a strange and funny tale. Many years ago, a samurai was walking at night on the road to the Japanese city of Kyoto. Suddenly, a man dressed in a kimono stepped out of the shadows and blocked his path. "Who goes there?" asked the samurai nervously, readying himself for an attack. "Excuse me," said the man. "Could I have a moment of your time?" Before the samurai could answer, the man turned around, dropped his clothes, and bent over. His bare buttocks. His bare buttocks opened wide, and the horrified samurai saw a huge glittering eye staring at him from the man's butt. A strange glowing light was emanating from the eye. When he saw this, the samurai screamed in terror and fled as fast as his legs would carry him. I thought samurai had honor.
That doesn't mean they're dumb.
Shirime is one of the most popular ghosts in Japan because he does not harm his victims. He is just a mischievous ghost who likes to scare people. Well, doesn't seem like he likes to scare people. He likes to show them his butt. That one's funny. It's not scary, but it's funny. Hario Nago. Hario Nago, or the long-haired woman, is a Japanese urban legend about a ghost who attacks men with her hair. Wait, so she's Bayonetta? Holy shit, I bet you that's what Bayonetta's based off of. Do you guys believe that Bayonetta is based off this urban legend? Which Bayonetta's a witch. I'm wearing my hat because I'm sweating. My bald head is sweating. She's also known as Hari Ona, the Hook Woman, the Needle Woman. In other parts of Japan, people refer to her as Nura Onaga. Nure Onago. Oh, we lost. Are you there?
That was my mistake. That was my mistake.
It's okay.
I accidentally went into another call in a server.
Nure Onago, the smiling woman, or Ware Onago, the smiling girl. Horio Nago is a Japanese ghost who appears in the form of a beautiful woman with extremely long hair. She has the ability to control her hair, and it snakes out like writhing tentacles. So she's Squid Girl. I bet you that's what Squid Girl's based off of, too. The tips of her long hair form into sharp hooks or barbs. Yep, definitely Squid Girl. At night, she stalks the lonely roads and back streets of Japan, searching for young men to attack. When she spots a young man who takes her fancy, she will smile at him. If the young man dares to return her smile, Arinago will unleash her terrible barbed hair and attack him. The sharp hooks at the end of her hair stick into the man's clothes and flesh, trapping him in her clutches. Once she has him ensnared with her long hair, he cannot move, and she uses the hooks to cut him to pieces or tear him apart. In many small villages in Japan, there have been numerous reports of attacks on young men by Harinago. One night, a boy from Yamada village happened to be walking home on his own. As he turned down a narrow street, a beautiful girl came walking towards him. As she approached, she noticed that he was smiling at him. He thought there was something strange about her, but he was attracted by her beautiful looks and smiled back at her. When he did, her hair fell down in disarray, and she pounced on him. The boy was shocked and struggled to free himself from her clutches. Her hair rose up like tentacles, and the hook snagged on his shirt, ripping it from his back. However, somehow he managed to get away and ran back to his house as fast as he could. He locked the door behind him and stood, shaking and trembling at the front door, waiting for dawn to arrive. In the morning, when he dared to open the door, he found hundreds of deep scratches on the other side. So if you're walking down a street at night and you see a strange woman smiling at you from the shadows, you may want to think twice before you smile back at her. Okay. No, I think she's probably based off a Marvel character named Medusa. Probably they just took the hair idea because it looked cool. That's absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe. But
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hair creatures in Japan.
yeah, this one was creepy, and it definitely has a scare factor in it. So yeah, I like this story. I do. I do. Yeah, at this point, I'm like, I just want to get through it. I don't really care too much about believability anymore. Because you
Yeah, we're
know,
just looking for the scares now.
okay, Futakuchi Ona. Okay, so this one,
The spit
Futakuchi
mouth
Ona, or the two-mouthed woman, is a
two
Japanese
mouth
urban
woman.
legend about a woman who is cursed with having two mouths. One normal mouth at the front and another hidden monstrous mouth in the back of her head. Okay, that's an interesting image. Futakuchi Onna is a monstrous woman with a tiny mouth. However, on the back of her head, hidden beneath her hair, she has a huge second mouth. The woman's skull splits apart, revealing lips, teeth, and a tongue. Although she appears to never eat, the mouth in the back of her head is ravenous and consumes huge quantities of food. They say that the big mouth has a mind of its own and speaks to the woman, mumbling spiteful and threatening things to her. The mouth will harass the woman and threaten her, demanding food. It will screech obscenely and cause the woman tremendous pain until it is fed. The monster mouth can also control the woman's hair, making it snake out like tentacles, grabbing food and shoveling it down its throat. There is some disagreement in Japan as to Futakuchi Ona's origins and how she got her second mouth. One story from Japanese folklore tells of an old miser who lived by himself in a small village. He never got married because he hated spending money. He thought that if he took a wife, he would have to pay for her food, and he could not bear the idea of parting with his wealth. It so happened that he came across a young woman who did not eat a thing and immediately asked her to marry him, because she seemed to never eat and was a hard worker. The old miser was thrilled that he had found the woman of his dreams, and the couple were very happy together. However, he began to wonder why his stores of rice were steadily decreasing. One day, the old man pretended to leave for work, but instead stayed behind to spy on his new wife. To his horror, he saw his wife's hair part on the back of her head, her skull split wide open, revealing a gaping, deformed mouth. Her hair reached out like tentacles, grasping handfuls of rice and shoveling it into the monstrous mouth. When the woman noticed her husband had discovered her secret, she attacked him and tried to strangle him. He managed to get away and hid in the mountains. Weeks later, when he worked up the courage to return, he found that the woman had gone, and all of his stores of rice had been eaten. The old man never married again. In another story, a man's wife died, leaving him a daughter to care for. The man remarried, but his new wife was a very mean and vindictive person. Together they had a second child, another daughter. However, they were poor and there was barely enough food to go around. The new wife decided to keep her own daughter fed while she starved the other girl. The man's daughter eventually died of starvation. Not long afterwards, the man was out in the garden chopping wood for the fire. He accidentally swung his axe incorrectly and embedded it in the back of his new wife's head. There was a lot of blood, and he expected the woman would die. She survived, but the open wound never healed. Instead, it formed into a huge, drooling mouth, complete with teeth and a tongue. The woman was in tremendous pain, and the only way to make it stop was to feed the deformed mouth. It demanded more and more food to keep it satisfied. Eventually, the mouth began making sounds and started talking. One day, while the woman was asleep, the hideous mouth spoke to her husband and confessed, "I am cursed because I killed your daughter by starving her to death." Okay, that is very unsettling.
Yeah, it is.
I like it. I like this one. I do.
Yeah. As for believability, yeah, it's not there.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't think any of these stories are believable, but let's see.
Baldman, I think, can be real.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, like I said, I've been feeling unsettled. I'm still wondering if that was the bald man.
The bald man.
Just creeping in and saying, "Hello there."
Hello there. Alright. Himoru Mansion. That looks like the ghost from Fatal Frame. Oh, it mentions Fatal Frame here. The Himoru, oh gosh, the Himuro Mansion. I'm sorry if I butcher that. Oh gosh, the Himuro Mansion or Himikiru Mansion is a Japanese urban legend about the dark history of a haunted house and the horrible murders of an entire family who lived there. They say that the video game Fatal Frame was based on a true story. Eager to solve the mystery, many people have scoured maps trying to find the real location of Himuro Mansion. Yeah, Himuro. Gosh. Oh, I have not played any of the Fatal Frame games. I need to. I
I
need to
haven't
check them
either.
out. I need to check them out, though. According to the legend, the Himoto Mansion is a large traditional Japanese house that is located in a rocky area somewhere on the outskirts of Tokyo. The mansion became famous for being the site of the worst mass murder in the history of Japan. The Himoto family were said to have practiced ancient and forgotten Shinto rituals that had long ago been outlawed in Japan. One of these occult rituals was called the strangling ritual and involved the sacrificial murder of a young girl. The purpose of this gruesome ritual was to protect the Himoto family from bad karma, which they believed would emerge from a portal in the mansion's courtyard. The strangling ritual had to be performed every 50 years to prevent the bad karma from destroying the family. They would select a baby girl from within the family and raise her in secret. They called her the Rope Shrine Maiden. The girl had to be kept away from the rest of the world in complete isolation, or else the ritual would not work. When the time came for the ritual to be performed, they dragged her out to a shrine in the courtyard and tied ropes around her neck, her arms, and her legs. Next, a team of oxen would pull the ropes in different directions, tearing the girl's body apart. So wait, they quartered her? Oh hey, Fatal Frame. I should stream it. Okay, I'll see if I can get my hands on the game somehow. I'll definitely try to
Emulator.
stream it. I'll emulator. I'll see what I can do. So they basically pulled her body apart. They quartered her. Essentially. You guys know what a quartering is, right?
I have a feeling I do.
And no, it's not. It's not the YouTuber The Quartering. I mean, his name is based off of that. The quartering is it's a torture method where they basically have horses. Your body is like tied. Like your arms, your legs are tied to each
Oh,
horse, and they
oh,
just split
I
your
know
body
what you're
apart.
talking out where the horses pretty much pull each body part.
In different directions.
The most painful ways to die.
Yep.
Ways
The
to
blood-stained
die.
ropes were then placed over a portal in the mansion's courtyard, sealing the gateway. If the ritual was a success, it would keep the bad karma away from another half-century until the ritual had to be repeated. For generations, this tradition was passed down through the Himoto family. However, during the preparations for the last recorded ritual, something went wrong. The rope shrine maiden fell in love with a young boy she saw from the window of the mansion. This was a disaster because she was supposed to remain pure and free from worldly influences. Her blood and spirit were tainted, and when she was sacrificed, the ritual failed miserably because she was no longer pure. Upon learning of the maiden's love, the head of the Himoto family became distraught. He was responsible for the ensuring that the ritual was a success. Fearing that disaster would now befall the family, he went on an insane rampage throughout the mansion. He brutally murdered the entire Himoto family, hacking them to death with his traditional Japanese sword, the katana. The head of the family believed that by killing them, he was saving them from certain doom. When every person in the mansion lay dead, he fell upon his own katana, committing suicide. The local people in the neighboring village kept quiet about the story of Himoto Mansion for years, or for decades. Ever since then, people have reported a variety of weird happenings or an inexplicable phenomenon taking place on the property. Bloody handprints, large red stains have been found splattered all over the walls inside. Ghostly apparitions have been seen both at night and in broad daylight. As legend would have it, these are the ghosts of the murdered family members. It is said that they will attempt to repeat the failed ritual using whoever is daring or foolhardy enough to enter the abandoned building. People who enter the house are occasionally found dead with rope marks on their arms and legs indicating that they had been bound and pulled. Others have been found torn to pieces in the underground network of tunnels that lie beneath the mansion. Nobody knows who made these tunnels or what purpose they served, but stories suggest that they were involved in the strangling ritual. There is also a certain window in the house that has become infamous. They say that if you take a photo of this window, the ghostly image of a young girl in a kimono will appear in the developed photograph. These incidents have provoked fear in the people of Tokyo, and many believe that those who venture near this area will become cursed. The deaths of 7 people on the property are unexplained to this day. The urban legend of the Himoto Mansion became popular in the West when the Japanese video game Fatal Frame was released in English. Ghost stories about the haunted house blew into a worldwide craze. If the legends are true, the Himoto Mansion is definitely one of the most haunted houses in Japan. Okay. I
Now,
definitely want
this
to
one,
check out Fatal Frame now.
this one, oh, the lore and everything. If it's a real place, I definitely want to check it out.
Same here. I mean,
Because,
I'd
like
love
I
to
said,
go there.
I'm a big fan of the paranormal, so I would definitely love to see it if it's actually haunted for myself.
Same here. I mean, now I'm curious to check out Fatal Frame.
I've been curious about Fatal Frame for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to play it. All right. The next one is called Kashima Reiko. Okay, this one with no legs. Okay, this is Teke Teke. Okay. Yeah, this is Teke Teke. From what it looks like. Yeah, the legs on the train track. That's what this looks like. It looks like the Teke Teke. Kashima
I'll check out
Riko.
Teke Teke real quick. See if it's the same story.
J-Man, you should come to Cry Baby Bridge in um, Omaha, Kansas.
Crybaby Bridge. I've heard of
I
that,
can't read
and
that.
I've seen videos of that. It
Oh,
is
oh, oh,
freaky deaky.
Ola, I can't even pronounce that. That place is haunted. Okay.
Huh?
That's weird the way you say that.
What, freaky deaky?
Kashima
Uh,
Reiko.
Let me tell you something. I've seen videos from Oh My Gosh and about the Crybaby Bridge, and no, I do not want to go there. I know what happens when you go there.
What happens?
Let's just say car stops partway in the middle of the bridge, and at times you'll see, and if you're sometime during the night, you see powder on the back of the car or something, and then you'd see handprints, kids' handprints,
Babies, actually.
babies' handprints.
Okay, so that's why they call it Crybaby Bridge.
The whole entire thing revolves around baby handprints.
But you're also supposed to hear baby cries on that bridge as well.
As well as the possibility of the mother's moans and groans.
Yeah, so I know about it.
I never heard about it. Okay, I may have to check that out one day.
Yeah, I can show you the video real quick.
Okay, we'll wait till after the stream.
Yeah,
Kashima
I'll show you
Reiko.
then.
Kashima Reiko is a Japanese urban legend about the ghost of a woman with no legs who haunts school bathrooms. Warning, they say that after you hear the story of Kashima Reiko, she will appear to you within a month. If you don't want to see her, don't read this. This is the Teke Teke story. This is the same story of the Teke Teke. Kashima Reiko is the ghost of a woman who lived in the city of Hokkaido.
Hokkaido?
Hokkaido, yeah, Hokkaido. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was pronouncing that right. Hokkaido, in Japan. One night she was attacked by a group of men that beat her badly, abused her horribly, and then left her for dead. She tried to call for help, but nobody heard her. She tried to find someone to help her, but she crawled onto a railway track and collapsed unconscious. The train came along and ran her over, killing her and cutting her in two. Her body was severed at the waist. Ever since then, Kashima Reiko's vengeful ghost has wandered the world, searching for her missing legs. She is mainly encountered in school bathrooms, but also may appear in your bathroom at home in the middle of the night. When you enter the bathroom, she will ask you questions. If you cannot answer her questions correctly, she will tear off your legs. If she asks, "Where are my legs?" the answer is, "On the Meishin Expressway." I think it's Meishin Expressway. On the Meishin Expressway. She will say, "Who told you that?" You should reply, "Kashima Reiko told me that." Sometimes she asks a trick question. "Do you know my name?" Do not say Kashima or she will kill you. The correct answer is Mask Death Demon. Kashima. Yeah, Kashima stands for Ka, common, mask. Shinin, dead person. Ma equals Ma, demon. It is said that after you hear the story of Kashima Reiko, she will appear to you within a month. I've read this story before. Yeah, I've never seen her.
It doesn't happen.
No. But it does sound creepy. and it sounds familiar to Teke Teke. Because Teke Teke is the same story, except She doesn't. The Teke Teke doesn't. It doesn't appear before you in the bathroom. It just asks you. It doesn't even ask you any questions. It just. Uh, gosh. It just kills you. But it's the same story almost. All right, this one a lot of people should know this one. This is called Tomino's Hell. Tomino is a Japanese urban legend about a poem that kills anyone who recites it out loud. Okay, so of course that's the English translation. At the bottom, I'm gonna look up the Japanese one. I'm gonna try to read it in Japanese. I might butcher a couple things because I'm not perfect at it. I'm not fluent in Japanese. My Japanese is kind of muddy. So, yeah. Tomino's Hell Japanese. But that's what we're gonna read. I've read this poem before, by the way. So I hope people are still in the chat. Let me know if you're still in the chat, people, because we're gonna read Tomino's Hell. I'll read it in English first, and then I'll read it in Japanese. How does that sound good? Does that sound good with you, J-Man? J-Man?
Sorry, my roommate just got home and ruffled my hair.
Do you mind if I read it in English first and then Japanese?
Sure.
All right. Elder sister vomits blood. Young sister's breathing fire. While sweet little Tomino just splits up the jewels. All alone does Tomino go falling into that hell. A hell of utter darkness without even flowers. Is Tomino's big sister the one who whips him? The purpose of the scourging hangs dark in his mind, lashing and thrashing at him. Ah, but never quite shattering. One sure path to Avisi, the eternal hell. Into that blackest of hells. Guide him now, I pray, to the golden sheep, to the nightingale. How much did he put in that leather pouch to prepare for his trek to the eternal hell? Spring is coming, to the valley, to the wood, to the spiraling chasms of the blackest hell. The nightingale in her cage, the sheep aboard the wagon, and tears well up in the eyes of sweet little Tomino. Sing, O nightingale, in the vast, misty forest. He screams he only misses his little sister. His wailing desperation echoes throughout hell. A fox peony opens its golden petals, down past the 7 mountains and 7 rivers of hell. The solitary journey of sweet little Tomino. If in this hell they be found, may they then come to me, please. Those sharp spikes of punishment from Needle Mountain. Not just on some empty whim, is flesh pierced with blood-red pins. They serve as hellish signposts for sweet little Tomino. Alright, that's the English translation. I'm going to try to read the Japanese version. Tomino no jigoku. Ane wa chi wa hoku. Imoto wa hihaku. Kawaii Tomino wa tame wa haku. Itori jigoku ni ochiya yuku. Tomino. Jigoku kurayami. Hana mo naki. Muchi de tataku. Wa Tomino no ane ka. Muchi no susho ga ki ni kakekuru. Tataki yatataki, yare, tatakazu, totemo, mugen jigoku wa hitotsu, michi, karai, jigoku, I anai, wa wo tonomu, kane no hitsu ni, igusu ni, kawa no fukoru ni yaikaru kara hodo ire yo. Mugen jigoku no tabashi taku. Haru ga kite soru. Hayashi ni tani ni. Kurai jigoku. Tane na namagari. Kogo ni yorgesu. Kurama ni hitsuji. Kawaii tomi no nomi nome ne ya namida nakeyo ugusu hayashi no ame ni imoto koishi to koe ga geri nakeba kodama ga jigoku ni ibike kitsune baton no hana ga saku jigoku nane yama nane tani migeru kawaii tomino no hitori tabi jigoku goza raba mote kite tomore hari no oyama no tomi bare wo akai tome hari date niwa sasunu kawaii tomino mije rushi ni. Yeah, like I said, my Japanese is a little muddy. I did mess up a little bit there because I read way too fast. And I have to sort of take my time with it. But they say that if you read this poem in both English and Japanese, which I'll read it here. In this world, there are things that you should never say out loud, and the Japanese poem Tomino's Hell is one of them. According to the legend, if you read this poem out loud, disaster will strike. At best, you will feel very ill or injure yourself. At worst, you could die. In this video, you can hear Tomino being read in Japanese. You will notice that the person who made the video used text-to-speech software. They didn't dare read it out loud themselves. Yeah, and there's no video there. I have no idea whether or not it is safe to read the English translation out loud. If I were you, I would err on the side of caution. One person said, I once read Tomino's Hell on the air for an online radio show called Radio Urban Legends. At first, everything was normal, but gradually it became difficult to read. I read half of it and then broke down and threw it away. 2 days later, I got injured and I was left with 7 stitches. I do not want to think that this was because of the poem. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this poem is cursed? Do you think this poem's cursed, J-Man? J-Man?
Somewhat. I was feeling weird when you were reading the Japanese version.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of felt like, I don't know, like I felt my chest was compressing a little bit. Like I was having a difficulty reading that. So I had to, slow down a little bit.
So there might be something to that urban legend.
There might be. We'll just have to wait and see. Something bad might happen to me, guys. So yeah, I agree with J-Man.
Because high disaster in my life, I don't need more.
Right. All right, red crayon. The Red Crayon is a sad and disturbing story about a young couple who buy a house that comes complete with an unsolved mystery. It is based on a Japanese urban legend. A married couple who had just returned from their honeymoon decided to buy a house. The couple were very happy because they managed to get the house at a very cheap price. It was in a nice neighborhood, close to the city and just a short walk from a shopping center. One day, the husband was walking down the hall when he spotted a red crayon lying on the floor. The couple didn't have any children, so the husband wondered where the crayon had come from. Perhaps the previous residents left it behind. He said to himself as he casually threw it in the trash. The next day, the husband came home from work to find another red crayon lying in exactly the same spot. He was very puzzled and decided to ask his wife about it. The wife grew pale in the face when he brought it up. She told him that every day since they first moved into the house, she had been finding red crayons when she was cleaning. They were always lying in the same spot at the end of the hallway. The husband was standing in the hallway wondering about his weird phenomenon when he began to notice something was not quite right. The hallway was too short. He tapped on the wall at the end of the hallway and heard a hollow sound. Curious, he began peeling off the wallpaper, despite the protests of his wife. Behind the wallpaper, they found a pair of sliding doors. It was as if someone had carefully hidden the entrance to a closet on a small room. The husband discovered that the sliding doors had been nailed shut. He got a hammer from his toolbox and began prying out the nails one by one. After pulling out the last nail, he slowly opened the sliding door to reveal the small hidden room. Looking inside, they saw that the white walls of the little space were covered with words scribbled in red crayon. Over and over again were the words, "Mommy, I'm sorry. Let me out, Mommy. I'm sorry. Let me out, Mommy. I'm sorry. Let me out." What do you guys think of that one?
Jeez,
Yeah,
that was disturbing.
oh yeah, that is disturbing. Uh, Smiles says, from what I heard, you'd have to read it flawlessly for a more noticeable effect. Uh, I sort of did feel like like my chest was being pressed when I was reading that, uh, the poem. Especially in English. I started noticing that. But, I mean, my Japanese isn't perfect. I mean, I tried the best that I could. Uh, it's just, I read stuff too fast. And I usually do that when, when I, when I'm in a hurry or when I'm tired.
I take it you're getting tired.
Yeah, I am. And my chest is just, gosh. Whew. Feel like my chest is being pressed.
It still feels like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Do
alright.
you have any history of having those sort of conditions?
I have anxiety, and I also have asthma really bad, but you know.
But any history of chest problems?
Uh I have some sort of congestion problems. That's probably what it is, or either that or it's probably heartburn.
Okay. But that doesn't explain. So that can explain the chest problems.
Mhm.
Uh, but how I was feeling can't be explained that well.
Well, what were you feeling?
I don't know. I just had this weird uneasiness while listening to that poem.
Yeah, they said I'd say that was you exhaling a lot more when you read fast. Nothing to do with the poem. Okay. Oh, I feel better.
Yeah, but like I said, I was feeling anxious while listening to that poem. It was weird.
Oh yeah. Uh, we're almost done actually, but I think um honestly, I think for right now we are done for tonight, and we'll continue this tomorrow. Because
All
I'm
right,
getting really tired. uh,
and I'll be sure to send you a.
what?
I'll be sure a video investigation of Crybaby Bridge.
Okay. Kashima Reiko reminds me of a mythical creature called the Manana Monen Monengao, means to remove in the Philippines, but without the wings.
Okay.
Mananangao. Mananangao. Or Mananago.
Well, okay then.
Okay. I guess that's interesting. Uh, but I am actually gonna call it a night. Oh, you like the story of the Monago? Mananago. I'd have to look into that actually. But which one is your favorite so far, J-Man?
I like Mansion. I really love haunted house stories.
Yeah,
It's a it's a real interesting story, and I really hope that that mansion is real.
right. I would have to say my favorite one, like, I like the if you fall you die one as well. I like the dream one. And I also like the dream school. For some reason I like those stories better. But yeah, those are some urban legends. Good night to you both. Don't let the bald man watch you in the bathroom at night. I'll try not to. I mean, I don't have no windows, luckily. Thank you. But yeah, I don't have to worry about DC Douglas. What about you, J-Man?
Uh, Sorry, I was looking up Crybaby Bridge for you.
You like 8 feet tall? I'd probably have to read that
I'd
tomorrow.
probably have to read that too, because I do know there is a hentai with a really tall woman in it.
Yeah,
And she's supposed to be a ghost.
right.
So I think it might be based on that.
Could be based on that. But nevertheless, I'm gonna end the stream tonight. For tonight, yeah. Uh, if you guys like this video and like this stream, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And J-Man, where can people find you?
You can find me here on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitch. Didn't stream today on Twitch, but I do plan on streaming tomorrow. Uh, and you can also find me on Twitter at jman the dual blad. No
Dublad.
e.
Dublad.
Oh, and I love this. I have seen 8 foot tall hentai. A man of culture. Yes, I am.
Man
Okay,
of
I
culture.
am.
Just keep the toilet lid closed, and he got nowhere to pop out of if you have no windows. J-Man has seen 8 foot tall hentai, a man of culture. Yeah. I don't ever keep my toilet lid open at all. I mean, my mom lives here with me, so, respect.
Love that random bitch.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. You all have a good night.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and share your experience. Just go ahead and drop a message in my discussion box, or you can send me a DM. I would love to hear about it.
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Follow me at Canvas Pirates on Twitter and subscribe to the channel. You all have a good and safe night. Hopefully, you don't have anything bad happen to you after me reading that poem. Just stay safe.
Good night.